Hey Ratbags, today I'm going to show you how to get a buggy, the soldier ant buggy in fact, in Grounded 2, super quick and easy. So stage 1, you need to go ahead and unlock the hatchery. It's available for purchase in the science shop at Ranger Station. 500 raw science and it'll give you all the recipes for the hatchery, the ant nest, plus the red soldier ant buggy, which is basically the saddle, combined with the eggs that you'll pick up. If you don't see it in the shop yet, you may not have gone and got the Sloan coordinates, followed them to basically the snack anthill. Can't miss this place, it's literally to the left hand side when you first come out of the onboarding area. And if you follow in the first tutorial steps, it will guide you there within literally half an hour. You will find some regular ant eggs here, but they're pretty much useless for you for now until a bit later when you'll be able to make bombs out of them. There's a few different ways to go. Turn right and you'll see 2 rocks blocking the way, and you will need obviously the hammer upgrade to go ahead and burst through. And as you go down more of the red tunnels, you'll notice the ant soldier here. Previously in Grounded 1, if you wore ant armor, ants would leave you alone, but that's no longer the case. Although when you're riding your buggy, the ants will definitely leave you alone, so that's something useful for later. Arrows and spears work best against ants, and try aiming for their weak points, which are their eyes. So step into the cavern, dig up the chest, and that's where you're going to find the turbo optical disc. And don't forget to rummage in the body to pick up the researcher's note. This is who you've been trying to find. The little token that you find also will give you extra damage against ants, but it does make your damage resistance a bit lower overall. When you do get your buggy, do come back here and go through the routes to go ahead and get some raw science and upgrade rocks. Otherwise leave and return to the ranger station to input the disc. I do recommend you go ahead and build the hatchery first before you go and try and get an egg, as they can actually turn into rotten eggs if you don't utilise them straight away. There is an unlock that you'll get later on that will give you the ability to hold one of them in basically fridge freezer. It's a special brand new ice box effectively just for one egg, but it's not really needed at this stage. You'll find acorn shells, maybe not as much as you did in the first game, pretty close to this area that I'm right now, right underneath the snack bar, just behind on the ledges. And obviously go and close to any big large roots and trees and you'll find more there. And the other stuff should be simple as well. Mites are pretty much almost everywhere close by here. There'll be other places you can find special red ant soldier eggs, but the closest places to you are going to be the northern anthill location. You can see it here on the map, just on the stone path, pretty close to the snack bar. And then you've got the southern hill entrance just here, and that's even closer to the snack bar, but I do recommend you go to the northern entrance. In my opinion, it's much easier to get an ant egg this way. Now I'm going to be running down pretty much an empty anthill more or less here, apart from a couple, as I did go through and kill a bunch of them. I'm going to explain what or how you should deal with these in a second, but just show you the very clear route. Go all the way down, you can't really go wrong, and then eventually you'll get to a open cavern with a route right in the middle. You've got 3 ways to go straight on. You can explore other places of course, but I recommend you get the ant egg first, go and put it in the hatchery, and then come back and explore. You get to the next chamber, there's some water and the route going above. You come here with your buggy, you can go through the routes and explore more of the areas, and they do interconnect with the southern entrance. But it really is easy to get confused in this place, especially when you're taking on lots of other ants. You'll come to this ominous door, and again you've got 3 ways to go. You can go inside the laboratory to pick up some resources, but you want to turn left, and then you've got another 2 way to go. So this time follow the right hand side, and you can see the lights leading down, and that's probably the best tip as well. You always want to be going down rather than up most of the time, and you'll be in the chamber with these eggs. They're orange more so than the white regular eggs, and as soon as you pick one up though, you may alert more ants to follow you. If they attack you, they'll make you drop your egg. So straight back out to this chamber again with the lights, turn left, and with the red door turn right and back up the slope here. Keep following it back up, and again we'll be in that room with the water and the leaf leading to another area that you can go and explore once you've actually got a buggy that can go through the routes. Keep going up and you'll come to the chamber with the route directly in the middle, and just carry going on straight on. Now there was another way you could have gone in the main chamber where you picked up the egg, and that leads to the southern entrance. But that's the worst thing you can do, because then you'll have to deal with all the ants in that part of the tunnels instead of going back the way you came and having a bit more of a clear run. So never go through another new tunnel, just go back the way you came as soon as you pick up an egg. To hatch one, you are going to need some sprigs, some grub hide and acorn shells again. That's pretty much for the saddle. And you can leave your eggs for a little while, but like I said, eventually they will turn into rotten eggs. Any ants in the area will be homing in on you, literally like a moth to the flame. So you may want to consider trying to have a hatchery ready to go with some resources by the ant cave and pop it inside, and then you can go back into the ant hill and maybe explore a little bit more. So obviously that was nice and easy since I'd already taken the ants out, but this is what you'll expect if you come here for the first time. There'll be lots of creatures like larvae, mosquitoes nearby the entrance, so be careful for them. Make sure you do have a lean-to built and maybe some resources to repair some of your gear in a chest. I stupidly did not go ahead and bring any of that the first time I got an ant egg, and it took me nearly 45 minutes to get through this area, again because I made the mistake of exploring all the tunnels rather than coming back out. Remember, use generally spears or arrows to go ahead and take these guys out. If you manage to craft any ant armor, that will give you more attack stamina. And of course, any foods, maybe like the mite food that you can make in the cookery if you've got that far already, that'll help you with attack stamina. But otherwise, you're going to need lots of bandages and try and bring a ton of smoothies, or if you're lucky enough you found some granola bars. There's quite a few granola bars that you'll find if you explore some of them laboratories as you go down. You will only get attacked once you see a red ant soldier. The rest of them will leave you alone unless they've witnessed you attacking one of them. And you could absolutely try having your aphid slippers on with maybe natural explorer and light armor and pretty much just run all the way through. But eventually you may have to fight 2 or 3 ant soldiers at once plus some regular ants, and that becomes definitely a lot more challenging. So there's at least 10 to 12 ants that you'll have to take on just exploring the tunnels, and more that will be coming in and out of the entrances. You could try coming here at night time, but you'll find a lot of the ants will be asleep, and that might make it actually harder to creep past. You can make something called ant bait, but if you're already aggroed some ants, they won't really pay much attention to it, and it seems pretty useless as it only gains the attention eventually when they stop being aggro of maybe just 1 or 2 ants. So I wouldn't waste your time trying to make some. It's fairly simple to make, but yeah, it doesn't really have a major big use. I definitely need to improve it. But for sure, your best bet is to lead a lot of these ants out once you've aggroed them, and then that way you can take them on in the open, maybe cheese them by jumping up somewhere high, or bring over another enemy like a ladybug or some of the larvae or mosquitoes to help fight them. I'm going to do a full guide for this place in the future, but I just wanted to show you today how to get the buggies in the quickest, easiest way. And like I said, this is much easier once you actually get your first buggy mount. So if you're playing multiplayer together, make sure that you come in here as a group, get one of the eggs, and then come back with one of you actually riding a mount. You can try out running things like I said with the aphid slippers and stuff. They will help you go a little bit speedier, but it's an absolute game changer bringing a ant mount with you to go and get more ant mounts. As said, all the other ants will leave you alone, even the ant soldiers, as long as you're always sitting on your mount. You can use your mount to go ahead and explore the rest of this caves now and take care of the roots and pick up tons of things like upgrade rocks, milk molars and more. And you can actually pick up 2 eggs. You'll naturally grab one by nabbing it and that will hold on your inventory, but you can also press the Y button on the Xbox to pick one up in your mouth. Now you can do this with other stuff like weed stems and grass planks, and you're meant to be able to throw it at an enemy, but in this case it's easier just to carry 2 eggs like this and make your way out. The ants will be aggro against you now no matter what, but it's still something much quicker and faster to get away. And as I said, once you're back at base, just simply build a couple hatcheries and put them in, and they'll be the same hatcheries for your all weaver mounts. And don't panic, I've got a guide coming for them. This is the little ice storage. It's honestly not something you really need to thoroughly use. You're better off just building another hatchery rather than trying to waste time getting it, as you will need mints, so it's going to be probably a while before you can. Pretty sure you might unlock it by completing some of the ice cart area. And the fact that it only holds 1 egg, that's why I think it's kind of useless. Just make sure you don't overdo it with some eggs, otherwise they will turn rotten. Also be careful when depositing them, sometimes it won't do it properly or they'll simply fall on the top of the roof. And look out for ghost eggs. There's a bug at the moment that even when you've deposited an egg, sometimes it still kind of makes out like you have got more. If you're trying to take an egg out of the hatchery, but it says you've already got a bug following you, make sure you send all of your other mounts to the actual nest, and also make sure they're unassigned. If If you go into the nest, you'll be able to adjust and change this with the swap buggy option, or go ahead, like I said, and use the RT button to unassign. No matter how many different buggies you've got, they will all share the same inventory, so you can't have like just loads of storage by having 5 or 6 of them. And obviously they've got massive benefits. They can carry 12 weed stems or planks on their own. Really useful for cutting into grass and regular weed stems, although you still need a tier 2 axe to go ahead and chop down some of the more sturdy weed stems. They do take around 12 minutes in real time to actually hatch, so you're better off just doing it just before you sleep, and then by the time you wake up there'll only be a couple minutes left, and then simply go ahead and take it out of the hatchery and they should spawn. If any problems or issues, make sure you've always saved your game just beforehand, as again there was a little bug where sometimes they would disappear. Obviously the gather mode is really good, literally activate by holding down the X button and it will pick up anything that's on the floor, so you can go ahead and grab things like some of the sprigs, mushrooms, grass, you name it. And again, like I said, if you press the Y button on a single plank or stem, you can then go ahead and press the RT button to throw it, and it will kill most small creatures, but only does a little bit of damage to things like an ant. You can block using your ant soldiers, and again you've got your own abilities obviously to do a combo hit. And you of course can try and recruit any extra ants. You're meant to be able to have 2, but it only seems to be working with 1 for me. But not if they're already aggroed, so you've got to find some regular ants that haven't or you aren't attacking yet. But just go up to some, press the left D-pad, and you should get one of them to have a little bit of a black squiggle around the head with a tiny little diamond, and that shows you that you've got them now following you. Of course you can pick up your buggies if they get knocked down, likewise the smaller ants you can still pick them up as well. They haven't got loads of health though. When you go ahead and quick deposit any items into your chest, it will automatically retrieve anything in your bug mount as long as it's nearby. When you're looking inside the chest, you can press RB to look it directly inside the buggy's backpack to move things back and forth. Really not meant to be used as the best combat creature, but I found them actually pretty useful, jumping off of them and fighting other creatures alongside, or just getting to learn how to parry. I found I could take on a bunch of creatures using my ant before eventually maybe jumping off and finishing them off. They do have all the same stats, ants and your buggies, in terms of damage output and stuff, and there's no way at the moment to go ahead and increase that, but it does look like that's on the roadmap in the future, as well as buggy mutations. And there you go, that's pretty much it. Other than buggies can't follow you into certain places, they will also take damage if you go into somewhere like a gas area or you're getting cooked literally by a stink bug, unless you're wearing a full gas mask. As long as you're riding them and you've got your gas mask on, it should stop them from taking too much damage as well. But otherwise, if they do, they'll literally boot you off and you won't be able to summon them quickly again. They can get stunned pretty easily and they do take full damage, so don't try using them all the time to jump great heights. You can survive quite a bit, it will throw you off, but sometimes it will kill you as well. If they do die, then they will just simply return to the actual nest and you'll be able to use them again in like another 5 or 6 minutes. On woe mode of course though, they die permanently. You can send buggies home anytime you want just by looking at them and they'll go back to their nest. And likewise you can summon them anytime you want as well. But it has been a bit iffy. You've got to use the right D-pad to whistle. Sometimes you've got to hold it for them to come a bit closer. Keep messing around with the whistle if it doesn't seem to be following you enough, or send it back home and wait a few minutes and then try it again. And there we go, that's a guide to getting your buggies quick and more details about what you need to know. Find it useful, please leave a like, check out the rest of my Grounded 2 guides, and I'll see you ratbags later.